Ever had a sudden urge to urinate that you couldn't control? Have you had an embarrassing leak after a cough or sneeze? These are experiences that many people can relate to, and they're typically signs of a condition known as urinary incontinence. Urinary incontinence is a prevalent condition that affects many people, impacting daily life in various ways, from unexpected leaks to uncontrolled urges that disrupt schedules. But what's important to remember is that this condition is not inevitable. It doesn't have to be a given part of aging or something you just have to live with. In fact, many symptoms of urinary incontinence can be managed or even overcome, often through lifestyle changes or medical care. There are a few different types of urinary incontinence, each with its characteristics. Stress incontinence, for example, is when urine leaks out during physical exertion. This could be when you're exercising, coughing, sneezing, laughing, or even just lifting something heavy. Then there's urge incontinence, also known as overactive bladder. This is when you have a sudden, intense urge to urinate and might not make it to the bathroom in time. Overflow incontinence is another type. This happens when your bladder doesn't empty fully, causing it to overflow and leak urine. And lastly, there's functional incontinence. This is when physical or mental impairments prevent you from getting to the bathroom in time. It could be due to mobility issues or conditions like dementia. Each of these types of incontinence can present its unique challenges, but they all share a common theme. They can be bothersome and can interfere with your daily life. But remember, urinary incontinence does not have to control your life. In the upcoming segments, we'll delve deeper into the causes of urinary incontinence and explore some of the ways you can manage it effectively, including dietary changes, physical exercises, essential vitamins and minerals, and bladder-friendly foods. So stay tuned. Urinary incontinence does not have to control your life. Let us dive into how we can manage it effectively. So, what causes this sudden loss of bladder control? Well, it all boils down to the weakening or loss of control of the urinary sphincter, the muscle that holds your bladder closed. This can happen due to various factors including age, obesity, and certain medical conditions. When this muscle weakens, it's like a dam losing its strength. The pressure becomes too much, and the dam, or in this case, your bladder, gives way. This can lead to what we call urinary incontinence or unintentional urine leakage. Now, symptoms can vary. For some, it's a slight leak when you cough or sneeze. For others, it's an abrupt, severe impulse to urinate that makes it impossible to reach a bathroom in time. Some people may find themselves waking up multiple times at night to urinate, while others may struggle to hold their urine in, even when the urge isn't particularly strong. It's important to remember that urinary incontinence isn't just an issue for the elderly. Sure, it becomes more common with age, but it can occur at any age. Even young adults can experience a loss of bladder control, especially if they're overweight or have certain medical conditions. But here's the good news. Urinary incontinence is not inevitable. It's not something you have to just accept and live with. There are treatments available, many of which involve simple changes to your diet and lifestyle. For instance, losing weight can significantly reduce the strain on your pelvic and bladder muscles, helping to regain bladder control. Regular exercises, particularly Kegel exercises, can also strengthen these muscles and improve symptoms. Changes to your diet can also make a big difference. For example, avoiding foods and drinks that irritate the bladder, such as spicy foods, caffeine, and alcohol, can help reduce symptoms. Now that we understand the causes, let's explore some home remedies that can help. Stick around because these are tips you won't want to miss. Did you know that changing your diet can significantly improve urinary incontinence? Certain foods can trigger bladder incontinence, but don't worry, we have healthier alternatives. Foods like spicy dishes, caffeine, alcohol, fizzy drinks, and artificial sweeteners can irritate your bladder and increase incontinence. Even some healthy foods like tomatoes, citrus juices, and honey might not be the best choices if you're struggling with this condition. So what should you eat instead? Opt for bladder-friendly foods. Think lean proteins, whole grains, and plenty of fruits and vegetables. These foods are not only good for your overall health, but they also help keep your bladder happy and functioning properly. And remember, hydration is key. Just be sure to choose water over sugary or caffeinated beverages. It might seem counterintuitive to drink more when you're dealing with incontinence, but keeping hydrated can actually lessen bladder irritation and help you regain control. Eating right is half the battle won. Now let's move on to some physical exercises. Scene script. Physical exercise isn't just for weight loss, it can help regain bladder control too. While it's true that maintaining a healthy weight can alleviate some forms of urinary incontinence, it's not solely about shedding pounds. Excess abdominal fat can put undue pressure on your bladder and pelvic muscles, exacerbating symptoms of incontinence. By incorporating regular physical activity into your routine, you're not just enhancing your overall health, but also strengthening those crucial muscles that help control urination. Speaking of muscle strength, let's talk about Kegel exercises. Named after the gynecologist who developed them, Kegel exercises involve contracting and relaxing the muscles that form part of the pelvic floor. These are the same muscles you use to stop urinating midstream. Regularly performing these exercises can improve your ability to hold urine and reduce unintentional leaks. Doing Kegel exercises is easy and discreet. You can do them while sitting at your desk, driving, or even watching television. Start by contracting your pelvic muscles as if you're trying to stop urinating. Hold the contraction for about 5 seconds, then relax for 5 seconds. Gradually work your way up to 10-second holds and relaxations. Aim for at least 3 sets of 10 repetitions a day. And remember, as with any exercise, consistency is key. Another practical approach to help manage urinary incontinence is bladder training. This technique involves gradually extending the time between your trips to the bathroom. Start by trying to hold off going for 10 minutes after you get the urge to urinate. Slowly increase this delay until you're urinating every 3 to 4 hours during the day. Bladder training can take a few weeks to a few months, but it can significantly improve bladder control over time. In conclusion, while physical exercise and weight management are essential in managing urinary incontinence, they're not the only tools at your disposal. Other lifestyle modifications, including diet changes and bladder training, can also make a significant difference. Regular physical exercise can go a long way in managing urinary incontinence, but diet and exercise aren't everything. Your body needs more than just a balanced diet and regular exercise. Certain vitamins and minerals can help too. Let's talk about vitamin D and magnesium, two key players in managing urinary incontinence. Vitamin D, often referred to as the sunshine vitamin, plays a significant role in your body. Low levels of this essential vitamin might induce urinary incontinence. Fortunately, you can easily increase your intake by adding certain foods to your diet. Cheese, egg yolks, fatty fish, mushrooms, soy milk, cereals, and other dairy products are great sources of vitamin D. Then we have magnesium, a mineral that our bodies utilize for several processes, including maintaining healthy nerve and muscle systems. It can relax bladder muscles and allow the bladder to empty completely after urinating, occasionally improving incontinence. Foods rich in magnesium include fish, legumes, nuts, seeds, and green leafy vegetables. Remember, small changes can make a big difference in managing urinary incontinence. Before we wrap up, here are some bladder-friendly foods to include in your diet. First off, we have apples. These fruits are rich in fiber, helping to prevent constipation, a condition that can exacerbate urinary incontinence. Next up, dates. These sweet treats are a good source of magnesium, a mineral that aids in controlling bladder functions. Thirdly, vegetables like winter squash and carrots are great choices. They are low in acid, reducing the likelihood of irritating the bladder. Trimming protein is another good strategy. Lean meats such as chicken and fish are less likely to irritate the bladder compared to spicy or heavily seasoned meats. Complete grains like brown rice and whole grain bread can also help. They provide the body with necessary fiber without causing undue stress on the bladder. Pastries may not be the first food that comes to mind when thinking about bladder health, but if they are made from whole grains and minimal sugar, they can be part of a bladder-friendly diet. Next, we have nuts, particularly almonds, cashews, and peanuts. These protein-rich foods are a healthy snack that won't irritate your bladder. Finally, eggs. Being high in protein and low in acid, they are a safe and healthy choice for those with sensitive bladders. These are just a few examples of bladder-friendly foods. Remember, everyone is different, and what works for one person may not work for another. It's all about finding what works best for you and your body. Urinary incontinence can be a bothersome issue, but with the right diet, exercise, and lifestyle changes, it can be managed effectively. Remember, it's okay to seek help if you're struggling to manage it on your own. For more information, check the link in the description. Don't forget to subscribe for more health tips and advice. Thank you for watching.